Did you guys know that there are other styles than necromancy that you can actually train? Most likely, as you clicked on this video to inform yourself on how to best train range in today's meta. Don't you worry, you're in the right place, as in this video I will show you the best training methods for each level, how you should go about gearing yourself, and of course the almightiest AFK bar to sit back, relax, and enjoy. Wait, I'm not Protox. If this video is useful, consider leaving a like, and a very important note as well, subscribe, as we're trying to get to 10k by the end of 2025. Enough waffling, my name's Chevalric, and let's talk about it. This guide will follow the same principle as my melee guide, which you can check out after this video if you're interested. It will be linked in the cards, description, and at the end of the video. This means that we won't go into extreme detail on each minute little thing to squeeze every last experience point out of each monster, instead focusing more on giving you the tools to figure some of it out yourself. Don't worry, I will still be giving you plenty of information, things like how should you progress your gear, what ability bar to use, and of course, where to train at which level. And regarding experience rates, I won't be mentioning them as there are no accurate numbers on the wiki or anywhere else really. And if I test them myself with max gear and stats, it won't give a clear depiction of the true experience rates at the relevant level due to the way the accuracy system works in combination with your level and gear. And lastly, I know, don't worry, we're nearly done here. I won't be focusing too much on Slayer creatures. These mobs are always the best experience as they have a Slay level multiplier to their experience per mob, meaning that a monster with 1000 health without a Slay level requirement will give less experience than one with a Slayer requirement. So I will be mentioning the Slayer mobs where relevant, but the main focus will be on the non-Slayer creatures to make this guide as accessible as possible. Housekeeping done, let's talk about the gear you should be using. Unlike other styles, range doesn't really have a tank variant. Yes, before you start typing Timmy, I know technically it does, but it isn't as prevalent as it is with the other styles. So pretty much use your best DPS armor. Now, I do have some strange advice here. Don't buy Armadillo armor at tier 70. Skip it, as it will set you back nearly 35 million GP with current prices. And just use DI'd armor till level 80 and then buy yourself a set of Anima Core of Chevalric armor for roughly 24 million GP. Tier 80 is cheaper than tier 70, as Armadillo is used for components in Invention. Now it gets even weirder, as a set of regular tier 90 power armor, Ceramic armor, will set you back a whopping 5 million GP as of me making this video. Long story short, range armor is very weird. The higher tier, the cheaper, to an extent anyway. Just like armor, weapons for range training are kind of strange as well, due to the existence of Chinchompas, which the first tier of them are unlocked at 45. Great Chinchompas. These explosive little creatures will make every ability an area of effect ability, meaning that it will target monsters in a 3x3 area, increasing your experience by like a lot. So kind of always recommend using the best tier of Chinchompas available to train up your stats in combination with your best offhand crossbow and bolts. If you for some reason don't like fast experience rates, simply use dual wield crossbows in combination with the area of effect range abilities. These abilities are shown on screen right now. The more you use, the better, but chins make every ability AoE, so just use those. Trust me, it's worth every penny you spend on them. On screen right now, you can see a bunch of other useful items as well that can aid you in your training. The more the better, of course, but the most important ones are by far the Vampirism Aura for the healing effect to better sustain at certain methods, stat boosting potions to simply boost your damage output, and of course, using a cannon where possible, as this will help you with monsters aggression and give you range experience as well, speeding up your training, but obviously costing even more money. So pretty much use it if you have the money to spend, but it does increase the kills per hour, thus experience an hour. Regarding the Soul Split curse, if you don't have it unlocked, simply use the relevant protection prayers available at each creature if needed. And lastly, as promised, here's the best ability bar you can use. Obviously understand you might not have some of the abilities unlocked yet, either because you haven't done the related quest, for example the World Wakes for the Death Swiftness ability, or spent nearly a billion GP to get greater Ricochet. Simply move every ability up a spot to the left and replace Greater Ricochet with Regular Ricochet. However, I do highly recommend unlocking Corruption Shot as fast as possible, as it's one of the best area of effect abilities for ranged. You can unlock this by buying a mass cap ability scroll bought via the Grand Exchange. Prerequisites done, let's jump into the leveling guide, which I want to mention one important thing for, and that is the idea that if you are struggling at a creature I mentioned, either upgrade your gear where possible, or simply stay at the previous mentioned monster till you gained a few extra levels. For levels 1 to 28, you want to be slaying absolutely nothing, as your best training method is actually doing quest. You want to start off with the Blood Pact quest, giving you a charge bow with infinite arrows. Great for your early levels. On top of that, doing the Dwarf Cannon quest to unlock the ability to use a cannon is very useful too. And lastly, to actually get to 28 levels, the Shadow of the Storm quest, netting you enough experience to get to level 28 from level 1. Now, it might be faster to actually train on chickens or cows, but these quests are investments into your future account progression, so it's always worth doing. From levels 20 to 30, I'd recommend you visit the Lumbridge Catacombs, unlocked via the Blood Pact quest, and destroy some of the skeletons there. Make sure to use the Self Amulet if you have it unlocked, as it gives you 20% accuracy and damage on these monsters. At level 30, you can decide to stay at the skeletons or switch over to Hill Giants. These are found within the Edgeville dungeon, below, well, Edgeville, and kind of below Varrock. At level 40, you can decide to go to Ghouls, found northwest of the Cannabis Lodestone. Simply attack them one by one, and at level 45, make sure to start using Great Chinchompas to drastically speed up your experience and hour rates, which actually make it worth to go back to the skeletons in the Lumbridge Catacombs. An alternative for people with 35 Slayer are Pyrofiends, found in the Fremenic Slayer dungeon, netting you more experience than ghouls or skeletons, but will be slightly tougher to kill at lower levels. At level 50, you have two options. The first one being to go to the Abyss, which you can access via the Mage of Zamorak, found northeast of the Edgeville Wilderness border, and you want to set up in the corner I am currently standing in, or the one that is mirrored on the other side, and start tossing your chinnies. Now, you might struggle to sustain at this level without the use of food and the Vampirism aura, but the experience here is well worth your time. But if you'd rather pick on some easier mobs, Ankus are great alternatives at this level. Yet again, make sure to use a Self Amulet if you have one for the 20% accuracy and damage increase. For levels 60 to 75, you can decide to stay at the Abyss, as it's always a viable training method, scaling up with your level and gear. But you can also decide to go to Bound Skeletons with a Self Amulet found north of Fort 4 and 3, or visit Hellhounds in Chevalric Dungeon, who also drop hard clue scrolls, which are insanely good money if you actually complete them. From 75 till pretty much 99, you have a few options. The first one is to stay at the Abyss, as it will most likely be your best training method available that is fully AFK if you don't have 85 Slayer to go to Abyssal Demons, which are best slayed near the level 17 Wilderness Obelisk. If you want a more active method, you can choose to fight Water Fiends either in the Whirlpool Dungeon at the Barbarian Outpost or in East Wilderness near Demonheim. However, you for sure want to have some better gear before you slay the Water Fiends in the Wilderness, as they are rather powerful, but will give you some insane amounts of experience and actually be the good blue charms for 99 summoning. They can be AFK'd as well by the use of the ability bar shown earlier and the use of Vampirism Aura, Stat Boosting Prayers, Soul Split and Positioning. At level 90, you can also choose to do some bossing, either the Arc Laser or Kriara. They won't be the same amount of experience as Abyssal creatures, but will still be a very viable option to get roughly 500k experience an hour, doing something actually entertaining and making some money on the side. And with tier 90 ranged armor being so cheap, it's accessible enough that I'd mention it here. And that is all. Everything you need to know to train your ranged up to level 99 or 120. On screen right now is my melee guide. Consider leaving a like and subscribe for more. My name is Chevalric, and I'll see you guys in my next video.